I have good feelings being here after so many years. The reason I'm speaking in English is because I had the chance to work outside of Romania. I have many friends there, and I will be sharing this talk to them later on. So, talking about career is something which impacted me heavily from the very beginning. More than 20 years ago, I was scared. I was really, really scared. I was not sure what is going to happen to me because university-wise speaking was good, scholarship, friends, enjoying, having fun, you know. But for sure, there is a lot of responsibility coming, and at that time, I was really very scared on what is coming next. I had the chance to start my PhD. I had the chance to start my PhD here, but it was very difficult. And I took a decision a year later. To go to the to the private sector, and to apply for a job. It was responsible for health, safety, and environment in an automotive company. It was the moment I decided to try to use part of the experience I collected already during the first year. So I realized at that moment that education plays a key role. So you cannot start a career without putting a solid foundation in what means education. If I go back to the moment I was interviewed, I remember, without having any experience, being exposed to an international company, starting a greenfield in Timișoara. For sure, questions have been addressed in a way of how I have started and how I have developed myself during the last years, informing myself as a future employee. For sure that I talk about my diploma, for sure that I talk about my experience in being part of the folkloric dance of the Timișoara students team, and talking a bit of how I went through the years, so it helped a lot. If I go back on what means career for me, at the beginning, I was looking at it like on a tree, you know? I enjoyed the example of how we in Romania moved from Dacia to BMW. It's more or less similar to what I have seen at that time. A man or a woman having a solid or fruitful career would have been a person driving a German car, having a fancy place to live, and going in amazing trips. That was for me at that point in time. And as I look now at the tree, it was something we all can see for a tree. We can see everything which is a ground above the ground, but we cannot see what it is below the ground. We cannot see the roots. And this is the journey, and this is the story I would like to share with you in the next minutes. The journey I have been in since 20 years, I see it like a trip, I see it like a train, I see it like a Siberian Express, having a very long trip. You know when you start, you don't know exactly when you finish, you don't know what you're going to see on the way through it. Where for sure at the very beginning of the career, I can remember myself having a lot of ambition, having a lot of trust that working and working hard is going to help and is going to be a solid element to move ahead. Along my trip, during the way, for sure that I have seen a lot of things. I have started my career in automotive. At a certain moment, I have been seen as a solid contributor in automotive in that moment, and I have been moved to another department. So I always open myself for challenges. I always open myself for going out of the comfort zone. So I moved along. Years after, I had the chance to move from automotive into food industry. It was the moment when I decided to do that change because of the international exposure. If I look on the train, and I make a parallel on that one, I would say that career is something we are choosing. So some of us are deciding to go down to the first station. Some of us are deciding to go more station ahead. Nothing is wrong, nothing is good. depends on how you see it, depends on how you feel it, and depends on how, at the end of the day, it makes or not sense to you as a person. So along the way, for sure, exploring new things is not always easy. And what I remember is that during these 20 years, there were a lot of moments where I was doubting myself. At the beginning of my career, especially, I was doing procrastination. So this, I think, is something we generally tend to do. I was always playing negative to myself. I was always saying, yes, maybe I'm not the right person. Yeah, maybe I don't have all the arguments to do this job. Yeah, maybe coming in Bulgaria. At a certain moment, I have been appointed to take care of a factory producing ice cream in Bulgaria. I had nothing in common with ice cream production. I had nothing in common with speaking Bulgarian, even though 3 years later, I managed to finish my contract, being hugged by the people and getting a very good proposal to continue in a higher position somewhere else. What I believe is that in our way for the career perspective, you always have to believe in yourself, you always have to be positive, and you always have to trust that as a team, especially in the manufacturing, because I have not said, my position is factory manager, I take care of factory. I have people to whom I trust the day-to-day operation activity. I have people to whom I speak every day, and we manage to produce parts which are meant to bring profit to the company we are working for. So coming back to the career, along the way I have seen, as I said, many failures. I have seen many points where I was not sure if I can go to the next one. Why? I don't know at that time why things like that are happening is because probably is where you challenge yourself if you are capable to do it, you challenge yourself if you are able to go to the next level. Last but not least, the link I'm doing in talking about career with sustainability is that there are 3 areas of interest. We are talking about governance. Here is the legislation. Here is the part where you have to be trustworthy, where you have to be clear, where you have to be transparent, not to cut corners. This is what we do, and this is our employers expecting us to deliver. Farther on, we have the social part. We have the social aspect where people are the core of our activity. So you cannot go along in a career unless you trust your team, unless you work with people, unless you have a good communication and you have good collaboration with those who are in the area of responsibility. Last but not least, looking on the emissions, looking on manufacturing is generating a lot of waste. And this is the challenge that you need to deliver while looking into your waste. Waste is where you are impacting the environment, where you are using resources without adding value to the activity you are responsible for. I was talking about what I do. I would like to make now the step in talking on how I do it, how I manage to get along in those 20 years to move in 3 different industries. As I have said, I started my career in automotive, then I moved in food. In food, I've been in charge of a factory in Bulgaria, then I came back being in charge of a factory in Romania, then I've been moved again to take care of a factory in Germany. I moved again and I decided to come back. So for me, work-life balance means on one hand side to be professional and to do all my best to achieve the expectation of my employer, but without jeopardizing the relation I have at home. Family will be always there for you. Family is where you are getting your energy. Family is the place where all of us, when we are weak, when we are not in our best mood, are getting our energy, are getting our power to move ahead. So the moment I have decided to move back from Germany to home was the moment when I realized that for me career is not to achieve an even higher level, not to be the next, I don't know, boss of I don't know how many factories. For me, career is the moment, or being pleased, being rewarded, as I could realize during this journey, is career reflects a state of mind. So when I realize that I'm happy with myself, I realize that I'm happy with myself being home, I'm happy with myself being with my family, being with my friends, being with the ones I would really love to spend the free time. Back to it, it was the moment I have decided to come back, and since 5 years now I moved into pharma industry. So I'm taking care of a production, in charge of producing infusions, so necessary for every medical act. Infusion for hospitals, infusion for doctors to be able to carry all the medical acts for patients who are in need. If I go back to that one, for me, the key, no matter in which factory I have been, no matter in which role I have been during my career, was a key element was to be a team player, to work with the people, to convince the people that together we can achieve everything. I will not go into details explaining that there is a management process in place everywhere you go, that private entities are very well organized in these regards, but I can tell to you that definitely there are targets, there are objectives against which you are measured, and unless you perform, whatever you say, it will not be sufficient unless you perform. And you cannot perform as an individual unless you perform as a team. Always, everywhere I have been, I've been close to the people, and I've been targeting myself to take care of them. So this is reflected in terms of safety. You cannot take care of the people unless they are safe, they are in a safe manner doing their job. And you cannot talk about the quality of your product unless this is proven in results. I like very much a sentence saying that quality is what people do when nobody is looking. That's how I try to work with the colleagues. That's how we try to work in, and we've been working in the places I have been in a way that quality represents us, not when somebody is coming to audit us, not when somebody is coming to check how we work, but what we do as a state of art and what we do every single day. If I go back to the family, and this is the other part of the balance where you have to pay attention, it's really crucial to have a clear mind. It's crucial to sleep well. It's fundamentally important to take care of yourself. There are moments when stress, because of different reasons, because of targets, because of short notice, because of events you are not able to anticipate, you need to protect yourself. In order to have a long career, you have to be ready for a marathon, and for sure not for a sprint. And while going back to the foundation of myself as a person, I once again am very happy and pleased to say that I had a chance to have good teachers from the primary school to the high school to the university who have helped me, who have challenged me. I even remember that my diploma was challenged to the very last day, reason why I had to reorganize it, and later on I've been surprised to get a prize of Dr. Honoris Causa, Mr. Nutter, as far as I remember, for a good diploma. The point is not that I got that prize, is that I got that challenge. And this is what I have realized, that in our career, along our career, such challenges are coming. We call it even in the industry that there is a storm waiting for another storm. So the reward at the end of the day, and what I like the most, is that if you are happy with what you do, you'll never work in your life. Again, I'm quoting. So I go to work being happy with what I do. I go home being happy to what I see. I try not to move problems from work to home or from home to work. I'm very happy to share my experience. I'm pleased to be here. And with that one, I really thank you.